not for this show.
Of course not. Of course not. Why is my webcam not in the thing? Not in the list. Media source. Video capture device. Webcam.
Okay, the YouTube is seeing us live.
Nice. Webcam. There we go. Yay. Okay, there's me. Webcam. Yay. Now I'm going to do a filter thingy.
The Facebook is seeing us live.
They get to see me try and set myself up with a virtual background. Right-click the video source and select filter.
We're doing technology
Filter.
work today.
Copy filter. Add filter. Scale filtering. Filters. And it says, under effects, filter, press plus, choose chroma key. Call it chroma key. Type of key is blue. No, we're going to go custom.
That appears to be a lot of work.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot of work. Pick screen color. Let's pick a screen color. That didn't work.
I tell you about my technology, but I have to wait or I'd be distracting you.
Try black. See if black works.
It is pretty dark.
Nope. Black does not work. Cancel. Wait, it's a blue screen, but now it's like catching everything. It's weird. Let's try turning down the similarity. Up the similarity. Wow, it catches my eyes.
I was playing with an orange shirt on because I didn't have a green background, and I was able to chroma key out the shirt, have my head just floating.
I want to select a color from my actual screen, and it won't let me because it won't let me like pick it from the other. I wonder if there's a thing on a Mac.
Chroma key out the shirt.
Digital color meter. Yes. Thank you, digital color meter. Four, 6, 14. That's what we have to remember. Custom. Select color. Red, green, and blue are 4, 6, 14. And that's horrible. Because it's catching like all of my face, my eyes.
I'm actually not seeing anything change on this end.
Oh no, because I'm doing it.
You're in preview.
I can see it on my end, but not on your end, because I haven't given it to you yet. Okay, well, we have just learned that apparently I am not the person for blue screens because my face is too close to the blue screen.
Face is too blue.
My face is too blue. My eyes, I guess the blue screen's not lit bluely enough. So
yeah, it's real dark on this end, so it's going to have a hard time.
So we shall not do that, and it shall just be a sad moment.
Yeah.
And that is just how we're going to go.
I keep telling myself this is an audio podcast.
I had such a pretty like forest too. Oh well. Sadness. Sadness.
There appears to be no way to make this Facebook Live thing stop. Once I started making it play, just have to tell it to go away.
Hi, Facebook Live. Hi. Check it out. I'm wearing a mask because I don't want to give anybody else the illness. Oh,
timer went to 0. Let me get rid of the timer. I guess that means it's time to start the show. Without me explaining my technology. But
you can't see me huffing and puffing. It doesn't, like on the inside, the mask is contracting and expanding, but you can't see it on the outside. I can do it if I breathe real hard.
See it a little bit.
Yeah, not much.
Okay, well, let's do the official show thing here. It starts like this. Oops. Starts. How does it start again? I'm looking at the VLC program. I pushed the button to start it, and it says something like open media. I don't want you to open media. I want you to play this.
Play.
It should know what to play. It doesn't know what to play. This is an inauspicious start to the program. From the studio in the bonus room above the garage on the north side of Cary, sequestered at the foot of Mount Belzoni, this is the Triangle Talk Show. I'm not Brendan Diesendorf. I'm not Nanny Jen. I am Gary Pearson. Now it's your turn.
And from not the Yellow Room on the border of Carborough in the People's Republic of Chapel Hill, sequestered at the foot of Mount Okanichi, which is a real mountain, and on the side of the hill with the chapel up top, I'm Nanny Jen, host of NannyCast.
And Brendan is not here. He is feeling under the weather, and we are hoping he does not have COVID-19. Boy, are we hoping that.
Yep. Well, he said he hasn't left the house, so I'm hoping.
He is so careful. I don't see how, but probably a lot of people say that who caught it. If it is, it's show material for us, right? Yes. I don't want to get show material that way, but yeah, it would be. This is it's going to be episode 90, May 24th, 2020, Faze 2. And even those of you in the audio podcast, when you were dialing up the audio somewhere, wherever you got it, could tell that was a verbal, a spelling joke. It's F-A-Z-E, Faze 2. What do I mean by that? I don't know. Could be a lot of things. Are you phased? Are you feeling phased?
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing a mask to be on the show right now. I'm phased.
The mask isn't going to last long.
No, and it stinks on the inside of this mask. It needs a wash.
You're supposed to wash it every day.
Yes, which is great, but I'm still during the day, and now it stinks. So I'm going to take it off since I'm inside and there's nobody else around.
Yeah, just what your pet sitting, right?
Yep. I got a cat, and there's a nest with some birds and some little hatchling birds outside, and so I'm kind of watching both.
Cool. One cat?
Mm-hmm. But he has some medical needs, so he needs to be watched.
Yeah, we've done that when we've been away for a long time. Usually you just have a pet sitter come in twice a day and feed and scoop, but there was one period where cats were pretty much on the edge, and we had someone come stay full time. That's me.
So, I've moved in.
Yep. Still around the Chapel Hill area somewhere on the...
Yeah, just on the other side of the chapel on the hill.
Still on the slopes of Mount Okanichi, a real mountain.
Yes. Not as close as I was in my actual home, but, I'm within a mile.
All right.
So it's not bad. Chapel Hill's not that big. I mean, anywhere to anywhere in Chapel Hill is going to be within a 15-minute drive, and that's like the farthest away points.
So I'm trying to learn about doing this promotional stuff so people know about your podcast. You put this at the beginning of yours, more or less automated, pre-recorded. I'm doing it live. The Triangle Talk Show is a YouTube show and a podcast for the Triangle. Is there a difference between a YouTube show and a podcast?
Yep, podcasts are audio only.
No, they're not. I disagree. You can have a video podcast.
Then we will have to agree to disagree. I'm old school.
My podcast app, which is something no one has ever heard of before, called Podcast Republic, will do video download video, and you can RSS the video exactly the same way as you do the audio. The reason most people don't is because the file's too big. You can't afford the storage.
I'm old. I started with podcasts when there started being a word for it. Get off my lawn, make a new word is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm not that far back as you are. I just did my first one in 2012. But what was I going to say? Oh, the file size for this audio version of this show will be about 100 megabytes, maybe. Depends on how long we go. If we go 2 hours, it'll be 110 megabytes. If we manage to keep ourselves down to an hour, it's not going to happen. 60, 70 megabytes. Video version, gigabyte. So I can't afford. I don't know how YouTube does it. YouTube lets me put it up and distribute it out there to everybody in the world for free. You may see an ad in front of it. I don't know. I've got premium, so I don't see the ads. But you may see an ad in front of it. I didn't put it there. Triangle Talk Show is a YouTube show and a podcast for the Triangle area of North Carolina. We talk about anything we want to. Tell me if I say anything that you disagree with. We talk about anything we want to.
That's true.
We more or less aim at things of interest to triangularians. Can I make that a word?
You keep trying. Someday maybe it'll catch on.
I'm waiting to hear it from somebody else. Sometimes it's local. Sometimes it's a little bit broader. We are unfair and unbalanced on the left-leaning politics side of things. When we get political, don't know if we will or not. We might. We seem to have gravitated to 4 p.m. on Sunday. No promise that we will stay here, but we'll try for a while. One beautiful, gorgeous Sunday afternoon is going to come along, and I'll really want to take a bike ride instead. I'll let you know.
The weather has helped with this.
Yeah, today's a good day.
Also, relatedly.
Yeah, today's a good day to be inside.
I would like to interrupt with just a quick rant.
Oh, sure.
If I may. I am tired of this rain. Ah! Okay, continue on.
I'm letting my ears stop ringing. The website is triangletalkshow.com. Our Facebook group is Triangle Talk Show. I'm sensing a pattern here. I want to make it sound like I'm just doing this off the cuff, but I say I'm sensing a pattern here. But I said the same thing last week. It's written down. Our Twitter is @TalkTriangle, which kind of blows the pattern. And the YouTube address is gibberish until we get to 100 subscribers. I think we are at like 78.
Oh, good.
Can I tell here? Let's see. Let's look at 78 subscribers here on YouTube. So please come subscribe. And what did I tell myself to say next? Oh, I don't care whether you ever watch again. Actually I do, but subscribe. That's really it. If you're going to YouTube and you want to try to find us, just Google or YouTube Triangle Talk Show. We're the only thing called that. I don't know how that's the case. There's lots of triangle things, but we're the only thing called Triangle Talk Show on YouTube. So we're easy to find. And that reminds me that I have this prop, which I brought in last week, but really didn't get a chance to talk about. This is a $6 triangle that I got off of Amazon. And sounds pretty good.
It does. Sounds almost like a tingsha or a singing bowl.
So I've got it hanging up behind the mic, and that puts it in the microphone's dead zone. I don't know if it's.
No, I heard it.
Okay,
I heard it.
It's audible. Because I'm thinking that I'll use that for every point that needs to be stressed, until it gets really annoying, which shouldn't.
I need that triangle because I'm about to talk about the rain again.
Oh, you want to talk about the rain? And now here's Jen with the weather.
I used to find the sound of rain on the roof comforting, warm and fuzzy, and made me feel like I was in a secure little nest. And now it's like torture. I understand why the dripping of water is a form of torture. I do.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all I got.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile,
Tortured. It's horrible. I don't like it. The plants are happy. I don't like it. If the rain could just like have a different sound, maybe I'd like it.
But most people love the sound of rain.
Yeah, until you've been living under it for 7 straight days and it doesn't even stop at night. Like there is no break. It is the sound that never ends.
Are you your bedroom is on the story that is immediately beneath the roof?
No, but it comes at the window diagonally.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, this is a 2-story house. Our bedroom is on the first floor, and there's a deck behind it, so the windows are protected. So, I mean, we hear it, but it's not loud. It's pleasant. People play that when it's not raining. People play that as sound to fall asleep to.
They crazy. That's all I'm saying. They're crazy.
Okay.
I can't. No. So if the biblical story is true and Noah survived on a wooden ark with a bunch of animals and Noah's whole family did, like they probably had PTSD over rain sounds. Because it supposedly rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and we're up to 7. Yep. And I can't take it.
Reminds me of the old Bill Cosby routine, and I think it was Noah. I don't know if he had a triangle or not. I think they probably did. Noah, what? I want you to build an ark. Right. We really shouldn't do Bill Cosby anymore, should we?
You know, I can separate the man from the character, just like I can do with vitamin C. There's the woman, and then there's the musical artist that she pretends to be sometimes. There was Cosby, the man, and then there was Cosby, the comedian that the man pretended to be sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's time to flush both of them.
Just like Elmo. Elmo, the Sesame Street character, has had multiple actors behind him, multiple puppeteers, but Elmo is still okay.
I was just going to say, did Elmo get a Me Too?
One of the Elmos at one point did get something. I can't remember if it was jail time or a Me Too or whatever, but yeah, we lost an Elmo.
The guy with the hand up the puppet's butt.
Yeah, the puppeteer. We lost an Elmo puppeteer at some point.
Okay, because Elmo.
No, Elmo the character is fine, and that's where I can separate the character from the artist behind the character.
Yep. I realized I didn't turn on the recording. I'm going to have to go capture the sound from the YouTube, at least up until the point where I just pushed that button.
Spare the late people my screams, please. It's not nice to them.
I'm not going to edit that out. I don't do editing. So I thought we would catch up on the Beaver Queen pageant and see what's going on there. They had what was her name? Stacy Space Beaver.
Space Beaver.
Stella Space Beaver was our guest last week. Okay, so it looks like the money is doing well. They were sitting at like $150 when I first saw it, and I was thinking, well, this is not going well, but they really hadn't started yet. So they're up to $1,655 at this point, and they have some entries from their looks like six contestants. I know they've got some video here. Let's see what Beaver Sanders has got to say for himself. Okay, it starts slow. At least audio audience-wise, it starts slow. It's
pink. That's all you need to know.
Okay, Beaver Sanders is on screen. He's mulling.
Oh, are we recording? Okay, we're recording. Good.
Yes, we are. I wasn't,
Hello,
but now we are.
Durham. Hello, people of North Carolina. You may be wondering what I, Beaver Sanders, am doing here in the Ellaby Creek watershed. Well, I dropped out of the Democratic primary months ago and conceded to my good friend Joe Biden. Not because I thought I was going to lose that race, but rather because a much more important race came to my attention, and I felt compelled to launch a political revolution here in Durham.
Doing a decent Sanders.
What I am talking about is the candidacy for this year's Beaver Queen for the Equa, or Ellaby Creek Watershed Association of Durham.
Okay, I guess I'm not going to play it all because we can't be fair to everybody and play everybody's. But let's pick one more. Who do you want to hear? Boy George Beaver. Oh, I know which one. You want Dr. Beverly Crusher and Locutus of Bevorg.
Oh, I do.
Okay, here we go. Are they going to give us the silent treatment intro? Yeah. Yeah, the screen has got like a little TV on it. Vote.
And it's pink. And
pink,
it tells you to vote.
Background. Look at that. Going to have to get the story of Pink from you in a minute.
Chief Medical Officer's log. Dr. Beverly Crusher. Stream date 25412.
She didn't go for the red hair.
An unexpected event has occurred.
Maybe she needs a wig.
I've
got one for her if she'd like.
Of my own medical vessel, the USS Burrow. We've been sent to the planet Ellerby to aid its inhabitants in their pollution crisis. At this point, it's unclear what the cause is of the pollution crisis. However, a significant number of beavers have become ill as a result.
It looks like Locutus.
Keyboard. You will be streamulated.
Streamulated.
So Beverly Crusher, for those of you who cannot see it, Beverly Crusher, for those of you who cannot see it and are on the audio only, looks, minus the red hair, exactly. She's dressed exactly like Dr. Beverly Crusher from The Next Generation. And Locutus of the Borg, except it's Bevorg, looks exactly like when Captain Picard turned into Locutus and was captured by the Borg.
Well, he looks close enough for a.
I mean, he has hair.
For a low budget.
Patrick Stewart doesn't have hair.
A low budget prop job.
I mean, they're evocative enough.
Yes.
Be continued.
I think they call it Disney bounding when you're close enough to a Disney character, and this is clearly TNG bounding.
Yeah. All right. So Beaver Queen Festival, beaverqueenpageant.org. beaverqueenpageant.org. I'll put the link again on the. Well, you go to the last Triangle Talk Show, episode 89. You get all the links to the stuff. It is there. You can do it right now. Well, we are still live. And we just lost the 3 people in the audience that are now going to the Beaver Queen Pageant website. It's nice having you for a few minutes. So apparently we've reopened.
We're in Phase 2.
Spelled F-A-Z-E, phase.
Phase.
So I'm thinking here that some of the rush to get back to normal is economic. Can't deny that. People are out of work. Businesses have been closed. It's pretty bad, although the stock market doesn't seem to agree.
Stock market loves betting on failure. I mean, that's how you make the most money, is you bet on failure. I put in buy orders years ago for stocks that I really wanted at prices I thought would never happen, and they've been executed. It's great.
Yeah. Now we just.
But if that happens, that means somebody's doing really poorly.
Right.
You know, I am that evil capitalist demon. But in fairness, I never thought it would get executed. I put it in like 5 years ago. The computers remember and they execute.
And so the question is it going to tank again, or is it going to? It's been dithering. You know, we're on the roller coaster. Is it going to do a major tankage?
As far as I'm concerned, in 70 years, it'll be better than it is now.
Okay, I don't have that long to wait.
I don't play the penny stocks in the day trader game, and I don't care. I don't have immediate need for any money in the stock market, so.
Yeah, I don't have that long to wait. I'm 70, so I'm not living.
So you got another 70 years.
only if we get to that Locutus of Borg era, And even then, humans weren't living that long. They were 120s or so were doing well. I think some of the rush back is just plain old denial. People don't want to believe it. I mean, they're aware of it, but they really don't want to believe it. And I've got some reasons why. It's your five senses. You can't see it. You can see the results. Watch TV. Even if you don't know anybody personally that has had this, you can see the results. And a few people still around here, it's still pretty much few, see the results personally. About the only personal way I hear it is listening to my police scanner and listening to the ambulances carry people to the hospital. And one of the things that they always do the same thing. They're giving vital signs, blood pressure and heart rate and oxygenation, things like that. And now they've added COVID positive or COVID negative in terms of symptoms and what the patient can tell them. They can't administer a test. And a lot of it is positive. Not all of it, not nearly all of it, but enough that I'm hearing, yeah, there's people out there in the triangle COVID positive and they're being carted to the hospital, not always for COVID related things, but some. So you can't see it, but you can see the results. You can't hear it, but you can listen to people talk who have had it. You can't smell it, but you can breathe it in. You can't taste it. And by God, you can touch it, but you can't feel it. So I think that's, you walk around out there and it doesn't look like there's anything wrong other than the stores are closed, and that doesn't seem right. So I think to me, that's the feeling that I get for why people want to get back to real life, because it doesn't seem real.
I have a different take, and I have to now pull it up because it came from somebody else. It's not me originally, but I read it and I said, this one passes my sniff test. And now I have to go find where I put it because give me a minute. Stall. Don't let there be dead air.
Okay, I'll vamp a little bit, but try not to change the subject. Yes, just
talk about all the other silent killers that there have been in the world that you cannot see or smell, like carbon monoxide.
Well, I mean, there's certainly been plenty of things, plenty of diseases, plenty of natural disasters that have taken place that have been bad and have not shut down the economy. And that's one of the big arguments for the reopen people. It's like, what's the big deal with this compared to everything else that the economy had to be shut down for so long and so drastically when lots of other things killed lots of other people and we didn't shut down for them?
Because we said never again after those. And it's not never again if we let it do it again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing threads on Facebook now.
Okay. I got it.
I gotta finish. I'm seeing threads on I'm seeing threads on Facebook where folks are saying, okay, would you folks who said, well, it's just like the flu, and the worst flu was 60,000, and this is only a couple of thousand, so it's not as bad as the flu. Would you people go back and scrape up your posts and put them up again and own them now that we're at 100,000? And speaking of which, did you see the New York Times cover? If someone hasn't seen it, it's just names.
Yeah. It's an overwhelming wall of names just to try and get at your empathy in case you have any.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see it. Tiny type and 3 pages worth of tiny type. And that is 1,000. I think it was 1,000. I don't think it was 3,000. It's either 1,000 or 3,000. In any case, it was a small fraction of the total. And on the New York Times and Sunday morning, as we go into the Memorial Day, or as we are in the middle of the Memorial Day weekend. So, okay, what have you got?
Okay, so this conclusion originally came from, I originally saw it by way of a Facebook post from someone named Shannon Lee on May 8th. And I'll just read it. We can do that, right?
Yeah.
We can perform work on this. And then I will give my take as to why this resonated with me. It said, "This morning, I awoke to find that I was out of coffee, so I took myself down to the coffee shop to buy myself a pound of beans. Our local coffee shop is set up with its cash register by the doorway, so you stand on the sidewalk and place your order and wait rather than having to go inside. I found myself standing in line with a bunch of other people in masks. The guy in front of me got to the front of the line and said, 'Hi, I'd like my usual, please.' Dude standing there in a mask asking for his usual. The cashier was like, 'I don't know who you are,' and the dude eventually had to come out and actually say what he wanted. And then, says the post author, I had a sudden revelation. The guy was standing there at a chain coffee shop ordering a generic drink in order to feel like he was participating in civic life. Like his whole reason for being there was to feel like he belonged to a community where someone would remember his name and treat him nicely. This is the reason people are so pissed off about not being able to go shopping. It's because for them, the retail experience is the whole sum and whole of their civic participation. They fully bought into the idea that their role in society is to go to work and earn money, and then with that money to go get a transactional membership into the body politic, the body societas, or whatever body they are trying to activate. This is why Karen wants to speak to your manager and why she's so entitled about it, because she feels like she's exercising all the power she's got in order to demonstrate to herself that she is important. Karen doesn't go to meetings, she doesn't do art, she doesn't participate in collective endeavors of any kind, even though she espouses religious beliefs, she doesn't go to any sort of small, intimate church. All her participation in culture is transactional. She gets paid, she buys things, and then no wonder they're so upset. They actually bought into the idea of a transactional society, and now that transactional society is being denied them. And I will now give Gary the link to put in the show notes so that you guys can go and read it and repost it if you agree. But I had long been struggling with the idea that, or the fact that I stand out from never mind. I will not do two things simultaneously. I will finish my thought and then I will post the link.
Yeah. I
have long been struggling with the idea that among my friends even, I am not really excited when I see those strip malls. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the ones you can find in every city with an Ulta and a TJ Maxx and I don't even know what all the, and a frozen yogurt place, and they're all chains. Sometimes they have a Hobby Lobby in them. It's the same set every time, even with similar architecture. And I have traveled all over the United States, and the fact that and Talbot's used to be like, I used to say I'm not a Talbot's person, but this particular set of stores in a particular area, Bed Bath & Beyond, used to be, I mean, it's everywhere, and we all have them, and it's everywhere. Orlando has it, Raleigh has it, it's Briar Creek, guys. Durham has it near South Point. It's across the street from South Point, the one the REI is stuck in. There's one everywhere in the United States. Yeah. And I never found that exciting. In fact, I kind of found it off, but Asheville has it, by the way. Asheville, nerdy hippie Asheville has one. They have a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something in it.
They probably have more than one, but it's not everywhere. But you're right. What you're talking about is everywhere.
Yeah, and it didn't feel right. It felt itchy and uncomfortable, like when you're wearing a wool sweater and you're allergic to wool. I don't like them, but there are people out there that's their identity. They love them. They post on social media about that. They wear T-shirts they have created to show their fandomness for this sort of a middle-class shopping existence. So when I read this post, I was like, oh yeah, those people would feel dead, like they have been killed. Like everything that they have ever known, everything they've ever bought into is dead in the water, and they are struggling. They want to get back to the surface, and all they've ever known is this, and they don't know another world. Meanwhile, I do, because I have been, I guess, counterculture. I have game nights with friends where we play games that aren't in the top 10 list of most famous or like most top 10 list of bestseller games. We watch movies that may be a little indie or artsy because somebody is trying to expose a new concept. Except I also like the summer blockbusters. And then I'm saying I'm not being snooty here, but
our Venn diagram is like
I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I can do both. We talk. For us, hanging out is more about talking than about going to Applebee's or Outback Steakhouse or Chili's or wherever else people go. And if we do go to a restaurant, we try and go to some place where it is not a chain. The owner or the chef is getting to try recipes they've wanted to try. We're willing. We I guess in that way appreciate a little more of the art in the world rather than mass-produced stuff. Like anthropology does not thrill me, but I will take something from a crafter who is really following their muse. And so for me, this doesn't particularly faze me to have the world shut down. I'm just going like, ooh, what new things are there going to be? This is fun. I'm excited to see what art comes out of this, what new restaurants come out of this, what new concepts come out of this, what new ways of socializing come out of this. And well, then there are the other people who they don't. They want to be served the same baby back ribs at Chili's, whether they are in Orlando or Asheville or Austin, Texas, or where's another foodie paradise? New York City.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
But that's my take on why they really want to reopen, because everything they have ever known has been taken away from them. And I'm pretty sure I would go a little crazy if everything I had ever known was taken away from me. I'd definitely go a bit squirrely.
So I'm wondering why it's not bothering me so much, because I live in that milieu more than I guess I'm comfortable admitting. The more chain restaurants than locals, although I try to go to locals, but I'm always worried about going to one that is terrible. I don't want to waste the time and the money on it. And here, I'll even put my own face full screen and let you.
I just put it. I put the link, guys. So
okay.
Now he's got it. So now you can put it in the show notes.
Okay, good. But this isn't driving me crazy. I think it's just probably because I'm so old that I don't have to worry about losing an income because I don't have one. It's just it was a shock to see my 401k turn into a 301k, but in 2008 it turned into a 201k, and it built itself back up a little bit. I got Social Security. I have a wife who is working but getting real close to retirement, and she's done a lot better saving than I have. So, my life of male white privilege has not been drastically impacted, other than it would be nice to go out and see people again. So, yeah, I guess we have different reasons for both looking at this and saying it hasn't hit me like a ton of bricks. But very different reasons. You're officially millennial, right?
I am.
Smack in the middle,
millennial keeps getting changed in its starting years, but I am either exactly when it starts or within 2 years of its start. So I'm the old millennial. People in my birth year around then, we call ourselves Zennials because we got a little bit of Generation X in us too.
Okay.
We know that world as well.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around 21 to closing on 40 now. So that's pretty broad, and I'd say there's a pretty big difference between the folks at the youngest end and the folks at the older end. It's like, how do you paint them with a brush? I'm a baby boomer. I'm an early baby boomer. I was born in 49, and they lasted until 64. And someone born in 64 has got a different cultural reference than I do. But we get the same brush.
But we've got some things in common. Like, I don't use napkins. And I read once that millennials are killing napkins. So that means that, like, all of us collectively don't use napkins. So fist bump to you for that. Eat neatly. That's the key.
Okay. Okay.
You don't need a napkin if you don't have any, like, mess.
Well, there's some foods that are really hard to not be messy about. Corn on the cob slathered with butter is very hard to eat neatly.
True, but then you need a paper towel. A napkin's not going to cut it.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I just grab a half sheet off the paper towel roll, and going for a real napkin, that not very often. So I went out to pick up breakfast this morning. Well, since it was 1 o'clock, I guess it's hard to call it breakfast. I guess it'll be a brunch. Did
it break your fast?
Yes, technically it did.
Then it is a breakfast.
I had a vitamin before that.
Oh, and on that note, happy Eid Mubarak.
Sure. I'm dressed for it, right? What is it?
It is this is Eid al-Fitr, and I am not Muslim, so I really, really don't want to get it wrong, but I know that it has to do with fasting for your sins, which I am Jewish, and we do similar on Yom Kippur. So,
okay, so if anybody's Muslim out there.
Easy and sins be erased.
Okay.
But you were talking about break the fast, and it just happened to perfectly line up.
Okay.
In time.
Well, so that is what we did, and interesting to note at this is at Briggs and Carey, where we go. Used to go either Saturday or Sunday, and we go in and get breakfast. And lately, we've been getting food from them Saturday and Sunday, just because we wanted to support them and keep them going. So they reopened. When I went by yesterday, they had a few people in their dining room, and I was the only one picking up carryout. So I'm thinking, well, they weren't mobbed, but people are going into the dining room. I won't be going into the dining room anytime, probably till we're deep into the second wave here. And today, I didn't look at the dining room because there were like 6 people standing there in their small waiting room to pick up carryout. So carryout was still a very big thing. And I noticed on Reddit, somebody put a Reddit thread saying, so what y'all doing, dine in or carry out? And a couple dozen answers, and the overwhelming response was carry out.
I'm carry out. I will dine out. I will sit in your outside area, eating area, not only because I don't, and I know that it's overly cautious. I'll say that. And it is a personal preference, and I know that it is, a lot of people find it overly cautious and say that I'm operating from fear, but I reiterate, I have had ARDS. So I'm going to be overly cautious.
Okay, that was before we started the show. So what is ARDS?
ARDS is acute respiratory distress syndrome, and it is a collection of symptoms that come with a variety of disease causes, but it is the thing that the people in the hospitals need the ventilators for. COVID-19 gives you ARDS sometimes, and when you have ARDS, you need the ventilator because otherwise you're not breathing. And it is, the best way I can describe it is it's like being waterboarded by your own body.
Yeah, the way I've read the descriptions is that your lungs are literally filled with fluid. There's no room in them for air.
No, and my mother also has had ARDS, and when this all started and they said ARDS was part of COVID-19, she asked me very kindly to, trigger warning, suicide. She asked me very kindly to, if she got COVID-19, she would have had to suffer through another round of ARDS, find a way to put her out of her misery kindly instead. I mean, it's, even though you survive, like I survived it, you can survive it. It's something that somebody who's gone through it does not want to go through again. Yeah. You would rather choose death. So because of that, and because I know that there is a possible, albeit small, chance that the air handling units in an industrial area can move COVID-19 particles, but across those 6 feet of distance, I will not be dining in. I will be dining out. Plus, also, when it stops raining, it's gorgeous outside. This is like the best time of year to eat outside. It's not hot yet. It's not summer. It's nice and cool, but it's beautiful. So another reason I will be dining out. But until then, I'm carrying out.
Yeah, I think the way I'm thinking about it is everybody that you meet, just assume they have the disease and they are contagious. Period. And keep distance and in contact with them as if for sure they have it, and they should treat you as if for sure you have it, because neither one of us knows. I may have it right now talking into this microphone. You might have it. You're on Skype.
And to be responsible, I will keep mine to myself.
Yeah, and that's what I do whenever I'm out in the public. and we're 20, 30 feet of people. I walk across the parking lot into the Harris Teeter. I'll put the mask on about 20 feet from the door, unless there's a bunch of people around, but there usually aren't.
Yeah, I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want, at any point, any karmic list to include, oh yeah, she killed these 6 people by not wearing a mask. Like, I'm going to keep my yucky spittle, which has made those of you who missed the beginning recording of the podcast, it smells really disgusting. I am holding up a mask, audio people. It smells really bad because I don't know, for some reason today, my breath just made the mask smell bad. I brushed my teeth though. It's doing a good job of trapping my spittle. That's where the bad smell comes from. So I'm going to keep it going because I don't want on my conscience that I got anybody sick or got anybody asymptomatically sick who then got their grandmother sick. And then I don't want to be part of any chains that end in death. No, thank you. Do not want. I will wear a mask. And to those who say, yeah, but you're being forced. No, I'm choosing. And it's just a humdinger of a coincidence that it lines up with best practices and what the government wants. So, hey, coincidence. Yeah.
So very nice of you to continually think of the audio audience. I forget them. But good of you to think of them. So I got this portion of the show, Doc, to talk about contact tracing stories. I'm not hearing enough of them.
There's not enough of them. They're still desperately hiring contact tracers. But hey, if you are a really good Facebook stalker and want some quick cash and or are out of work, or you happen to be a stalker and it's just never worked out for you romantically, let it work out for you financially. Sign up to be a contact tracer because that is exactly the skill set they need. So
I occasionally hear a little bit, but not very much, about detailed stories about how the virus spreads. And I don't know if it's because we just don't know, or if we are keeping that information close to the vest, those who have it. I'm talking about general information. The droplets from people sneezing, coughing, and speaking. I've only gone looking for those stories a little bit. I haven't found them. They definitely haven't found me. I did discover a May 21st issue of the article in the Washington Post that described it as that coronavirus spreads from person to person, not easily from a contaminated surface. And I'm hearing a little bit more of that physical contact, touch. I have the virus, I touch something, I leave it, you touch it, you get it. That is a not so much. It's not a doesn't happen.
Yeah, there are a couple of cases of it happening, but it involved A, TikTok, and B, licking the surface.
TikTok or Time?
No. There's this new. It's the new social media the kids are doing now.
Oh yes, it's the new Vine.
And it's the new Vine. It's the latest Vine or the latest Periscope or the latest. God, I can't even keep track anymore. I'm too old. Get off my lawn. But there was some challenge where people were like, I'm going to record myself on my phone licking this surface and see if I get sick. And then not surprisingly, a significant number of them got sick. And so don't lick surfaces. Don't lick surfaces even if there wasn't SARS-2 around. Like, just don't lick surfaces. Just don't.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of almost expected you to disagree with me and say, no, stay away from surfaces. Touch is bad, very bad. But you're saying, no, it's not really that bad either. It sounds like your experience.
I mean, if it doesn't get in your orifices and, your eyes or up your nose or in your mouth, or there are other orifices on your body that we're not going to get into. If it doesn't get in your orifices, you can't get it. And your skin better not have it, like your fingers better not have any orifices on them.
Yeah, although they could if you've had a cut.
Yeah, but then you just wash your hands and then it's not in your body and it's fine. It's on your body, but it's not in your body. So don't put it in your body and you'll be okay.
So that's where the wash your hands, don't touch your face thing comes in. Plus, it's just not that good a transmission medium. The good transmission medium is my face to your face.
My lovely spittle. My nice pox-filled spittle, my poxy spittle, your poxy spittle, all of our poxy spittle.
Yeah. And I know I read an article that sounded authoritative, and I searched and searched for it because I didn't make a note when I saw it. And as I was reading it, I was saying, I should make a note about this. Oh, I'll be able to find it again. But what I remember from it is that it's actually, for a contagious virus like this, it's a little hard to catch. If all you're doing is passing somebody quickly, walking past them, riding a bike past them, whatever, outside. They even describe the amount of virus that you get, and I quote it, but I don't remember.
I've seen the fluid droplet models. Yeah, I believe it was through one of the major news sources, NPR, New York Times, Washington Post, one of the ones I'm subscribed to. They have had the fluid dynamics models up.
Yeah, so they said below a certain amount, and it maybe, let's say a couple of hundred. A couple of hundred what, I'm not sure, but say a couple of hundred. You're not going to catch it from that. There's not enough virus in it. And a couple of hundred is what you might get from standing a couple of feet away from somebody and talking to them for a minute. Assuming they're infected and they're spewing virus and they're talking at a normal volume in your direction, talking to you from 2-3 feet away, and you talk for a minute. You exchange some money or something if you're buying something. The person that I bought the breakfast from this morning, if they were infected in that quick exchange and they weren't wearing a mask, I probably wouldn't get it from that. A sneeze, if you need, say, 500 of X, whatever the particle is, 500, if you need that many, talking gives you a couple of hundred. A sneeze will give you thousands and thousands and thousands, or a cough.
A cough as well, yeah.
Yeah. But then you get into the more nuanced stuff, the shouting, just talking louder, breathing hard in a gym. And what people are complaining that why didn't they reopen the gyms when they reopened some other stuff? Well, it's because all people do in a gym is in a closed environment.
No. I know some people who go and they get a massage and they lay out by the pool and they go to the smoothie bar. I could tell you about some people who are like, yeah, I love the gym. Well, what do you love at the gym? And then they list everything but exercise. And I'm like, do you exercise at the gym? And they're like, nah, I do my exercise outside.
Yeah, okay. One of the things some people do at the gym is
go for a better shower with better water pressure than their home has.
Yeah. Some people are breathing hard. Maybe I guess if everyone did what you're describing, we could reopen the gyms. And I guess we won't call it a gym. That's just a spa. But we're not opening them either. So I don't know. Singing. So I'm not talking so much about going to a club and one person is up on stage singing. I'm talking about going to church and they got the choir, and it's not you in the pews that are got the problem. It's everybody else in the choir. Oh, great thou art! Have some COVID from me. Sorry, really shouldn't sing.
Poxy spittle projects.
Yeah.
From the diaphragm.
So that's what I'm hearing. And that's what the scientists are saying. Don't do this, because these are the areas that are the problem. And so you go inside in the restaurant, and you are in that closed air environment where it's recirculating, and everybody's breathing, and it accumulates. It takes time to get from that distance. Yeah, you're not going to get it in 5 minutes, but you get it in 30 minutes or an hour. So that's why very limited in indoor restaurant and other activities. Brendan is saying bars are open with modified bar service. So I'm not sure. He says
I'm just waiting for enough alcoholics to fuss enough that we can get to go margaritas like they have in Louisiana.
What would the problem be with that?
Oh, a lot of people drink and drive in Louisiana.
Okay, so drinking.
They get it in a go cup with the straw in, and the whole.
I can see that. I can see that as the problem.
But no, I feel like we don't have to exactly copy Louisiana. We could maybe have some sort of, because, you buy beer, it comes in like a twist-off bottle. You're trusted not to open the bottle until you get home, right? Maybe we could have margaritas or daiquiris served that way with like a safety seal or something that you're supposed to not break.
Yeah, I would be in favor, if you just asked me without a lot of detail behind it, say, would you be in favor of changing the rules so that we can do takeout mixed drinks? And I would say, sure. Not because I want one, because I haven't had a drink since 1988, because I'm an alcoholic and I'm on recovery. And and the only time I've gotten high since 1988 are in the hospital with an injection of morphine for a kidney stone. And that is it. But I don't begrudge other people that want that, even other fellow currently not recovering alcoholics. That's what you got to do.
I just see it as a way to keep bartenders employed, and bartender is a job.
Yeah. But don't swallow it and then get in the car and drive home. Take it home.
Yeah.
I don't know if these things last.
Alcohol? You don't know if alcohol lasts? Alcohol is a preservative. It lasts.
Well, the flavor of the mixed drink, I have no idea how long it takes to degrade that, if ever.
Based on how long some people have nursed them at bars I've visited, I think you have enough time to make it home and be fine.
All right. Okay, let's talk about God for a minute. I don't know what your religion.
What if God was one of us?
So you said you were Jewish. I don't know if you're practicing.
Lapsed. To steal a word from Catholicism, I'm a lapsed Jew.
Yeah.
I practice in my way. I was certainly bat mitzvahed. I did all the education. I know the things. I just have found that I have some fundamental disagreements with certain ways that certain congregations around here behave, and so I have decided to not.
So I went through the cancer treatments at UNC Rex, and you fill out an endless stream of forms when you're doing something like that. And one of them was, what's your religion? Because they want to treat you based on what your belief system is. And so I put atheist. What I say about my religion is I am agnostic by experience and atheist by faith. And that's kind of a joke and kind of not. And so now I'm looking at all of the material that is made available to the people that are treating me, and it says religion atheist. I'm going, ooh, that is a really nasty word. People don't like atheists. You don't have any friendly neighborhood atheists there. They've got devil horns coming out in their tail, and they're going to eat your children.
I don't know about that. I see a lot of very moral, very good atheists, but they're not self-aggrandizing, which is also what you want in somebody who's very good and very moral.
Yeah, I'm not the guy that puts up the signs. I'm not the guy that puts up the signs that something about reason for the season. But I support them. I'm happy that they do that. So anyway, religious folks are many of them, some of them, very bent out of shape. Of course, Trump was trumpeting, reopen the churches. Great idea. Let's have 50 or 100 people crowd into a small building and breathe on each other for an hour and a half. I think we're going back to my denial part at the top of the show. The can't feel it, can't taste it, can't touch it, and God will protect us.
This must be something that happened when Jesus split off from being Jewish, because Jews are, by and large, not meeting. Exceptions are made for the ultra-Orthodox in the Northeast. I don't know what they're on about, but they are not being Jewish. Yeah. Because the number one rule in Judaism, the rule that no other rule can undermine, the rule, the one to rule them all, is saving a life takes precedence. It'll take precedence over every other rule. If you even just save one life, that's enough. You can break every other rule there is.
What a concept.
And so if gathering might endanger somebody's life, saving a life needs to take precedence. So we don't gather. The end.
So I should acknowledge that there are lots and lots of churches around North Carolina and everywhere else that closed, figured out how to do things online, figured out how to do things in cars, at a drive-in theater. all those things to be safe. It is a small, I don't know how small, relatively small number of right-wing churches, very fundamentalist evangelical churches. And if there's fundamentalist evangelical church people out there that are saying, no, we closed and we're being smart about it and we're closed, well, I apologize for putting that label on you. But there are the ones that Trump is preaching to, that we got to be open because we can't get close to God unless we're in church.
If you can't get close to God unless you're in church, you're doing something wrong, honey.
Yeah.
You're doing something wrong. You better feel God in every moment of your life because God is in every moment of your life.
Yeah, so it's not religious. It's really political. But and politics and religion get wrapped up together a lot. I don't remember exactly what else I wanted to say about that other than that that's going on. Oh, the thought hit my brain, returned, and jumped right back out. Never get old.
Oh, I have senior moments, and I'm not even close to being a senior.
Yep. So anyway, it's not a First Amendment thing because you get to practice in religion and worship all you want. Oh yeah,
no, you can have whatever religion you want.
Okay, so
any religion you want.
Here's the thing that disappeared and now it's back, and I'll say it before I forget it. It's that it's not just you making your own risk. It's not you taking all the risk, you and the other people around you saying, we're going to accept the risk. It's that when you do that, you then spread it to the rest of the community. And I'm part of that community. And now it delays how long it's going to be until I can go out and play again too. So you're being damn...
New Rochelle.
You're being selfish. Should we push to the explicit button? Is it time for the explicit button?
No, New Rochelle is an explicit term.
No, I want to say something, and I'm going to have to push the explicit button if I do.
Oh, go for it.
You're being fucking selfish.
Yes, they are.
Okay, remind me to push the explicit button.
They're being selfish, and not everybody can be altruistic all the time.
Yep.
I have moments where I want to be selfish, and that's where my friends come in. Friends keep you honest, and it shouldn't be an individual decision. You should talk this over with your trusted friends and listen to them when they tell you you're being selfish and to not. This is why kings have advisors, man. Every person, king or queen that we may be, needs a team of advisors.
And Trump has said he doesn't need any because he's got it up here.
Listen. Trump is a blustering buffoon chicken.
We've pushed the explicit button. You can go farther than that.
Well, I try and give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I try and be grounded and centered and pragmatic. That I feel is my personal brand, as it were, which is just me saying I've named my personality. Like I've noticed what my personality is and actually put words to it. So I've tried to find something good to say about Trump. And so far, all I've got is he's good at walking. He can walk. He also can wave his hands around. So he clearly has a full range of motion in this arena. And he has mastered the art of Twitter in a way that far few people have done, because Twitter is generally a cesspool and most people don't bother to master it. They just leave it alone. That said,
he still can't spell.
No, and you notice I'm not saying he's good at spelling, but he's just, I can't find anything else in there, man. I can't find anything. I cannot find a single other thing good to say about him. Well, he's mastered the political realm of the demagogue. Yeah, well,
he's done that. He's done that
what's his face who got people to drink Jell-O about Haley's Comet?
Yeah.
What's it? Haley's Comet? Hale-Bopp Comet. The Heaven's Gators. Like, that's a cult. We know what cults are. We've seen cults. We've seen people in cults die, because that's usually how cults end. All cults are death cults.
Are diehard Trump followers cults? Any cult?
Yeah, I would say yes.
A cult of Trump?
I don't want it it to be so, because people in cults are, I mean, they're really hard to reach and they're really hard to bring back. But it looks like he's gone full on cult.
Because that's a lot. That's a lot of people. That's a
cult of personality is a cult.
That'd be like the biggest cult ever.
I don't know if it's the biggest cult ever. Have you seen Scientology?
Well, do they have more people than Trump's 35%?
We'd have to. I think the numbers would come out in Scientology's favor, but not by much, because Scientology is international and Trump is not.
Okay, yeah. I guess if you scoop up everybody in the world, yeah, that could be. Yeah, and they're pretty whacked out too. We exhausted that topic. Want to move on?
Sure, absolutely. Let's move on to talk about what's next on the thing.
Blue
Igloo.
Yeah, I'm going to bump back up to the Blue Igloo Boogaloo thing, and that's why I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt today. Have you paid any attention to them? Apparently,
no.
they're behind.
Is this the? Oh.
Speaking of cults.
Yes. Are these the libertarian people who are like, and the guy who went to Subway with the bazooka on his back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the Blue Igloo.
And I can get somebody from connected with that on the show, maybe.
Oh, that would be great.
I have I have a contact there.
Yay. So
I've been following them.
I really don't know very much about them. But reportedly, they're behind the armed exercise phenomenon that people have been doing downtown. We're not protesting, we're exercising, because exercising is legal. And of course, carrying a 30-pound bazooka is just going to be a little bit more exercise.
They bought their firearms. They're excited about their firearms. They want to show you what their firearms look like, because they usually show each other, but now they cannot gather. So that is what this is. Yeah. It's nothing more than that. It's a bunch of firearms enthusiasts being enthusiastic about having firearms. And for the most part, they're safe with them.
What's interesting...
Within the group, it is like they will correct anybody they see misusing firearms. They'll go smack them upside the head and sit them down and go, listen, son, if you can't use that correctly, we'll take it away from you. We don't need no government to take it away from you. So
God bless them. Bless their heart.
I mean, I think they're just tone deaf to the fact that the optics of their little club scares people, because we don't know that they're responsible with their firearms.
Well, why did they choose now to...
Oh, no, they've been doing this for a long time. They've just been getting news now.
Okay. So we might have seen them in Raleigh.
Yeah.
But no one said anything about it.
They meet all over the state at various times. It just happened to be that they went to Raleigh for a particular meeting, and it was like a few days after the reopened people were protesting. So the news was really eager to these are more reopened people. Let's film them, and not realize it's a separate thing.
The news stories I saw would identify at least, there weren't very many of them. There was a dozen maybe.
Yeah, it's a small club.
Yeah. And one of them that they talked about that they could identify individually also showed up at the reopen, which I guess it wouldn't be a big surprise.
No,
be some
clubs are made of people, and people have opinions.
Okay, so they're you know more about them than I did. Apparently, they have adopted a Hawaiian shirt, the Aloha shirt, as a symbol. Apparently,
that way they can better tell who the idiots are, I guess.
Well, I am putting my foot down on that. And I'm wearing one of my loudest Hawaiian shirts right now. I'll tell you what, I'll make myself full screen. I'll stand up a little bit, and I'll try to capture that shot for the website. So you can see it for those of you that are just doing the audio. If you stop by triangletalkshow.com, and you'll see this takes like 4 D cells to light this thing up. So, They can take the Hawaiian shirt meme thing out of my cold, dead hula dancing hands, because they can't have it. I'm keeping my Hawaiian shirts. This, by the way, I purchased on the island of Maui.
Oh, nice. I have an Aloha shirt, but it did not come from Maui.
Yep.
Also,
it was made
fun trivia fact, they're called Aloha shirts.
Right. Well, Hawaiian shirt and Aloha shirt, either way. I have to look at the label. I think this one was made in China, but I looked for the ones that are made in the islands. They get hard to find. So that's really all I had to say about them, is they can't have my Hawaiian shirt theme.
And I do think that, because I did see the photo of one of the guys with the twin pistols in his holsters and then the bazooka across his back ordering at Subway. I do think that maybe was a bit much for that location. There's maybe, just maybe, the person making your sandwich does not need to have a bazooka nearby.
Maybe not.
I mean, I get that you want it toasted. I get it. But also it's just, you can tell that they're not out there for personal protection, because that guy, as he's ordering his sandwich, if somebody had a knife, they could have gotten him in the neck real easily, despite the bazooka. It wasn't like he was wearing chainmail or anything.
A bazooka is not probably a very good personal protection
No, but he bought it and he was excited and he was trying to show his little club mates.
Some of them were labeled non-functional or inactive or whatever. Some of them. I'm sure the pistols were not.
I mean, I get it. People collect all sorts of stuff. My stepmother collects teeny tiny ceramic teapots.
Yep. And I don't know if they were the same guys as the guy with a big long pipe wrench that threatened a Durham.
I am unaware of a connection, but that just might be my own personal awareness and lack thereof, rather than there not being a connection.
Yep. There is a North Carolina law that prohibits something vague, like called going armed to the terror of the public. And I think that's mostly just something that the police get to use when they've got somebody who's got a gun, is being a little too casual with it, and they need something to tell him to stop. And he's got, I got my First Amendment rights.
Second.
Yeah, I got my Second Amendment rights. And they're saying, yeah, you do, but not waving that around here.
It's rude. Yeah. Let's just not even talk about legal. It's rude to terrify people for no reason. That's rude. And your mama raised you better than that.
Well, we go back to cult. And now my friend Jeff is going, Gary, go back to your gun show. Remember we did that like episode 4 on Triangle Talk Show? Let's go play that back. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say about those guys. What else have I got here?
Oh, but can I just thought of something.
Sure.
Okay, so people who carry guns for not only their own protection, but for the protection of the general public. It's just like wearing a mask.
Okay, you gun-loving but mask-hating people?
You're not ideologically consistent if you don't put a mask on, if you concealed or public or open carry.
There you go.
Either you're trying to protect the public or you're not.
Okay, that deserves triangle hit.
Again, not my concept. I saw it come up on my Facebook feed and I borrowed it from somebody connected with this Blue Igloo Hawaiian shirt wearing gun club. So if you're just wondering where they come down on masks, and voila.
Now I'm rethinking you as a co-host of the show, but we'll go with it for a while.
Like I said, if somebody comes to me showing me that they're reasonable despite the initial optics, I'm going to go, ooh, so you're just bad at PR.
Yeah, my problem is you think about these things much deeper than I do. I think about them enough to put them in a document to talk about on the show off the top of my head with no research. And you've already been through a lot of this stuff. So, okay. And I'm rethinking and you're welcome to be part of the show.
I have a diverse set of friends, and with that come a diverse set of perspectives. And with that comes a lot of exposure to a lot of different ways outside of the way I think. And sometimes it helps me really feel good about the conclusions I've drawn. And sometimes it makes me feel like maybe I've jumped to conclusions.
Look, this world is not built for nuance. Things are black and white. Damn
well better be built for nuance.
Not anymore.
What's the point of even having nuance if we can't use it? I like nuance.
We used to have nuance, not anymore.
Better get back to having nuance.
Okay. So, what do you think about Richard Burr?
I think him stepping down now was a calculated political move so that they could appoint somebody new who won't release the Mueller report. I do think that he did bad stuff and he deserves to be punished for it. Don't get me wrong. But, like, maybe after the Mueller report is released.
Yeah, so he's not running anyway in 2022.
I mean, both Burr and Tillis made a public statement when they were elected the last time that they were neither of them was going to seek re-election. Tillis has shown that to be a lie. Burr is at least credible on his promise that he made that.
Yeah, he could still back off.
I don't know that he'd get reelected with that insider trading over his head.
Yeah, and so I guess the question is why not pressure to have him resign now?
By the way, should we catch the audience up as to what we're talking about with maybe they don't know about the insider trading.
Good idea. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm throwing it right back to you. You do it.
All right. So
I need to take a drink of water.
Just as this coronavirus thing was happening, and before most people knew how serious it was going to be, senators, and he's the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, I think.
Safety, security, something like that.
If that's not a contradiction in terms, got a briefing about how bad the scientific community and the advisors to Congress and to the government thought it was going to be. Pretty darn bad. We weren't hearing that yet. We were hearing some of it, but we weren't hearing how really bad it was looking like it was going to be. Burr publicly was saying, doesn't look like it's going to be that bad. Privately was dumping a lot of stock just before the stock market tanked back in February, March, I guess March. And his wife did, and another relative did, as it turns out. So he claims, and he's
not the only one. There were other senators who did as well.
Yeah, he claims it was not insider trading. He said he was just working on publicly available knowledge.
Publicly available to him.
Yeah, available to him, and different from what he was making in public pronouncements. Now, he doesn't make a lot of public pronouncements. He's not in the news a lot, but things he had said, apparently he was downplaying how bad it was while he was dumping stock. And he says, I guess he's not denying that he was dumping stock because he thought things were going to tank. He just was saying, well, everybody should have figured that out. So anyway, that's why everybody's mad at him.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're an idiot excuse.
And so the question is, do we want him to resign now? And why would we not want him to resign now?
I don't want him to resign now. I want the Mueller report out first.
Well, how much Mueller report is there left to go? Because I thought we had it all.
We have a redacted version.
I thought we got just about everything. We had enough that it seemed like we should be impeaching a president. It was good enough for me. Apparently, it wasn't good enough for the Senate. No surprise. And the House didn't. The House didn't even go with the Mueller report. They went with Ukraine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you've got somebody on tape. But no, I have heard a political strategist explain that this has something to do with the Mueller report and the parts of it that we don't have. And I want to see Burr nailed to his own petard, or nailed by his own petard. Nailed. Anyway, I don't know how that idiom goes.
I think you nail people
hoisted on his own petard. I want to see him hoisted.
You nail people to crosses and hoist them on petards. I'm not sure what a petard is. I know what a cross is.
I want to see it happen. I do believe in justice. I believe we cannot call ourselves a country of laws if we do not actually enforce those laws. At the same time, I also want the rest of that Mueller report, whatever piece it is that this is great political strategizing for. I am not here for that. I am tired of being played, and I am patient. We can petard hoist in a bit. So I can be patient on this. He's not going anywhere, and if he is going somewhere, he's going to dead. So, that's an acceptable outcome too.
Do you think there's some more bombshells in that report we haven't seen?
Probably not. but still, for the sake of transparency, let's see it.
So the reason that I've heard for not trying to get him out of office now, not trying to either impeach him or just have him resign, is that Cooper would have to appoint a replacement. He would have to appoint a Republican replacement. Apparently, these are the rules in North Carolina, and he wouldn't get to choose who that was going to be. He would have to pick from a small list of people generated by the Republican leaders in the North Carolina legislature. So we wouldn't necessarily get somebody better. Plus, if Burr is actually going to resign, then the election, and we waited until the election, which is going to be in 2022, for his office, we would have a Democrat running against another Republican who wasn't an incumbent. If we got Burr out now and appointed another Republican, that Republican would be running as an incumbent with a short trail, a short history, so we wouldn't know a lot about, one of the biggest problems that incumbent has is he's got a lot of history. You can look at votes and things, although incumbency has still got a lot of advantages to it. So, we don't want to go up against an incumbent Republican in 2022. We'd rather go up against somebody, nobody knows who they are right now, and they're just starting fresh at that point. That's what I've heard. Sounds reasonable to me. Is Burr going to do a lot of damage between now and then?
Yeah, he could. Or he couldn't. Anybody can do a lot of damage.
Apparently he is not a always Trumper.
No, but I'd also like to point out anybody could do a lot of damage, but so then we look at his history. He hasn't done a lot of damage. He even started the investigation into, Russian meddling in our elections. I'm not in a rush. I do think the laws about insider trading need to be enforced, but heck, we've got people sitting in jail right now because they couldn't afford bail, whose cases won't be heard for years. We don't need to rush on Burr.
Yeah, if they were to start the prosecution now, 2 years is not a likely time for resolution of that. It could take lots longer. So start that. And Republicans can get a little bit tired by anything that he has done.
Sorry, the rain is making me yawn. It's this low pressure. Of course, now it's sunny again.
Yeah, it's getting a little lighter outside. I thought the sun was going down at 4:00 today. Just, I think, what month is this?
June? May.
Today,
May.
Yeah, we're getting close. Still got a little bit of May to go. But it's the unofficial beginning of summer because it's the Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, now you can wear white.
Yeah. And that reminds me of something that I wanted to do at the beginning of the show, this being the beginning of the Memorial Day weekend. And that is show how they began the CBS Sunday morning show this morning. I'm going to try to get away with this without getting a takedown, because what I'll be playing is not a Hardison and Cochran commercial, attorneys at law. That's what you're seeing on the screen right now. But when I play it, you're going to get something else. This is from CBS Sunday morning, but it is the U.S. I think Army band that you're going to be hearing, and this is what the way they opened the show this morning. Yeah, it is the Army band.
Oh, look at that military mustache. So military.
This just, I'm not, a super patriotic guy, particularly because it's been so co-opted as a term, but this got me. And that's the CBS part of their music.
Good morning. I'm Jane Pauley, and this is
thank you, Jane. So that I don't know when I saw that this morning, it's like a little lump in my throat. Maybe it's because I was an old high school trumpet player. Maybe that was it.
Military mustache.
Yeah.
It's the only hair that they allow on the face, and only for some positions is that little penciled mustache, little bit of a mustache.
Yeah. What you were seeing on the screen, for those of you doing the audio, was what you're seeing from lots of YouTube videos and a little bit that's getting on broadcast is an individual screen of the people playing. And the technique for getting something like that, because you can't do that on Zoom. You can't have multiple...
No, there's too much delay. Yeah,
and Zoom and Skype are not meant for people talking at the same time, for making sound at the same time. It switches very quickly. It fools you into thinking two or three people can talk at the same time, but they can't. So we'll let you go to bed here in a minute. Jen is
tired. I'm tired, Haas. I'm tired.
I was tired before the show because I had worked out and took a quick shower and then rushed in here to get all the technology working. But then when we start these shows, the adrenaline comes up and I always get pumped up. So, but that's part of being. But you're a professional podcast host. Although
I don't get paid for it, so I don't think I count as a professional. But I'm an experienced podcast host.
All right. What it says on your website is that people will hear your voice in the recorded part at the beginning and then very little for the rest of the show because you don't get much of a word in edgewise. The shows that I've listened to, it's kind of hard to tell who's talking because it's only audio, and it's all women. I think I hear you more than that.
I've been talking a lot more on the latest ones because they're completely scripted. Because we're socially distanced, so it's a lot harder to record in person. So I've been finding my voice and becoming okay with it.
You wouldn't know it from your participation on this show. You hold your own.
You fake it till you make it. I was a teacher.
Yeah, hold your own.
I know how to get up in front of a classroom and despite what you're feeling on the inside, you just project confidence and speak. I know how to do that.
Okay, well, you got me fooled. You're doing good. Anyway, listen to that stirring opening, and I think it's the old high school trumpet player in me that particularly appreciated all the brass. But
it was a good opening.
Other than that, patriot. The word patriot has just been so co-opted by the right that it is a little hard. They co-opt everything. They co-opted fake news. I was just reading about one recent thing.
They created fake news because you know what we called fake news before it existed, before that term existed? Propaganda or lies, depending on which was appropriate. Yeah,
but it was early in the Trump era, or maybe late in the Tea Party era, switching to Trump era, that the left started using the term fake news, and the right totally co-opted it.
I would like to see the left go back to propaganda. It's more honest.
Well, yeah, it's got a more bad connotation to it.
That's the point.
Yeah. So the other thing that the people that you wouldn't have expected to have co-opted this, it's the guys we were just talking about, the guys who were carrying the guns downtown. People applied the label Meal Team 6 to them. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh, no.
Like SEAL Team 6, because they went into the subway, they were Meal Team 6.
I love it.
And
I love it.
The story that I read today said they have adopted that. They like that. That's what they call themselves.
It's great. I love it because they're a club, and they can poke fun at themselves.
Anyway, yeah, good for them.
They're just, and I'm not making excuses for them. I think that they should not be this tone deaf, but they're tone deaf to how they come across. They're completely missing it. It's a big blind spot for them, and it shouldn't be. And certainly they have been told lately, and hopefully things will improve. But oh boy, it's like when you do something and you think you're doing things right, and then you suddenly realize that you've just got a big old blind spot.
The stories that I've read, they did not include any denials about being part of Reopen, other than, well, we're not protesting, we're exercising.
No, some of them are members of Reopen, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, it got so closely tied to Reopen that.
Well, yeah, because they were like 2 days apart in terms of appearance. But I know at least one of them who appears in one of the photos wasn't at the Reopen protest. He drove up just for the gun show.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it for now.
So that happens to be my connection.
I'll be watching the stories more carefully. Yeah, because timing wise, they got connected, and I think everyone thinks they're connected. So we're breaking news here on the Triangle Talk Show. They're not that connected. The last thing I got to hear in the doc is just what we're doing for fun. Been watching some movies. You didn't add anything here, so I'm not sure what.
Oh, because, hold on, let me go find it. I went to Tracked and I pulled up my Tracked history, and I was going to send you the image and hope that you could. Now I got to pull it up. And my internet, not my internet. This internet is slow. This is my finding things on the internet face. Everybody on video. And this is me trying not to have dead air. But yeah, I went to Tracked and I made myself a little graphic of all the
what is a Tracked?
Oh, okay. I get to explain. So Tracked, it's TRAKT.TV. So it's one of those ones where like every URL ever has been taken, so they have to start removing vowels and such. And for me, I have it linked on my Fire Stick in a way that when I watch a show, it automatically logs it. But Tracked is a website or an app where you log when you've watched something, and then it tells you what you need to watch next in the series. And that way I can make sure I'm not rewatching something or haven't skipped an episode or of something or whatever.
Okay. I got their website up for those who are looking.
Great.
Track.tv, automatically track what you're watching, find where to watch TV and movies, and discover what's hot. And then
it does suggestions like if you liked this, then you'll like that kind of stuff.
Yep. And now you kids, you keep making up words. Scrabble and sync from your media center. I don't know what a Scrabble is.
That just means that it collects the fact that you've finished the episode.
Okay.
It's a technological term having to do with. But am I able to share my screen? Because then I can show you what I've been doing.
Yes, I believe that will work. Let me.
Share screen. Chrome tab. There we go. There we go. Behold, this is, I did a little screen capture of my Tracked. This is what I am at with last week versus all time. I want you to look at the number of hours. Last week in watched.
Okay. All I'm seeing is a giant Skype logo, so it's you're sharing the wrong screen.
No, I'm totally sharing Can I send it to you? Oh, it's not working at all. I have unshared. Stop sharing. Huh. I don't know how to share the picture with people then.
Try it again. I may be looking at the wrong thing and have to.
Well, I can see that you've got the Skype logo on.
Yeah, but that's weird because this is what I'm getting from Skype. Okay, there we go.
Oh, good. Second time's the charm. There we go. Tracked. So I want you to look at last week and the hours I've been watching. So all time I've watched roughly 19 days of TV shows. Last week I have watched 2 days of TV shows. In all time I've watched about 1 day of movies. Last week I watched 5 hours of movies. I only watched 3 movies last week. I watched Detective Pokemon or Detective Pikachu, Snowpiercer, and I forget the third one. Oh, Pixels. But 97 episodes of TV last week. So let's talk what we're watching, guys. Also, Tracked does all this bar graph of pie graph of your genres that you've been watching. And it's all in shades of red because screw colorblind people. Am I right?
Okay. So.
And now I throw the visual back to you, Gary. Oh, yeah. Now I'm a big Skype. What?
Well, that may be, this is what I'm getting from you. Your camera's not on.
Oh, my camera's off.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
it turned my camera off when I started showing the technology, guys, technology.
Okay, and there we go. One of the things I was going to explain before we started the show in the technology corner of video in the 5 minutes of pre-show stuff was a little corner of Wirecast, which is the program that is running on this computer over here. It's my TV studio in a box, and I decided to learn something called NDI, and I don't even remember what the initials are, but it basically allows me to take your Skype video and put it on various Wirecast screens without all the Skype trash around it. I do get the little logo, but I don't. If I'm looking at you on my screen and I move my cursor over there, all of the microphone and hang up and all that stuff shows up, and lots of titles and things. And they will go away if I take my cursor off after a while. It's making a liar out of me because it's not going away at all.
Look, my name is Jen.
Yeah, but look at this. I can take you and make all of that not be there, not be part of the picture.
Where's my name? What's my name?
Oh, well, I can put that. No. I can put that back up.
Who am I again? Oh, that's who I am. Oh, that's good.
But it did a weird thing when you switched your camera off and went to share screens. The share screen did not come through that way. I had to go back to my main screen thing there to see that. So now the audience is going, huh? The audience is going, what?
Hey guys, guess what? We have learned a thing in Skype. If you share your screen and then you turn your screen sharing off, your camera does not turn back on unless you do it manually. Now you know.
Yeah, and it's about 98% frozen. So your Skype is very unhappy with your internet right now. Your audio is fine, which is really all we need. But
I'm doing weird dances just to see what they come up with.
Oh, let's see. Let's get all the full screens. Yeah, you're operating at about 2 frames per second right now.
Woo! Go me. Go internet. Oh no. I look like I'm getting faster again.
It did for a moment, and then it gave up again.
I give up. I don't know. We're probably breaking the internet. I long predicted that we would break the internet with all of us doing all the things thanks to COVID.
I don't know about you, but I got the Google Fiber here. I got a gigabit up and down.
You got Google Fiber? I want some of that. Can you this way over here a little bit, please?
I'll try to figure out how I can send that over, maybe on Facebook Messenger.
Because I don't got Google. I want Google Fiber. I have been waiting patiently, oh so patiently. Patience is a virtue, and I have had it. And I don't have Google Fiber.
Yeah, I was waiting for years, and then 2 years ago they started digging up the neighborhood or the streets nearby, and I'm going, "Are you guys Google?" And they said, "Nope, we're AT&T." But AT&T never put fiber in here. They just ran a line up the side of a nearby road, and then never went into the neighborhood. And then about this time last year, the next crew came in and started trenching and putting in the orange conduit. And I said, "Are you guys Google Fiber?" And they said, "Yes, we are." "Are you coming in that neighborhood?" "Yes, we are. We're going to micro trench your neighborhood and probably be about a year before you actually light it up." And he was right. It was about exactly a year before they lit it up. That was
Hey, Brendan. Homesick.
Yeah.
Why are we breaking the internet? Why does he have Google Fiber and I don't? You're the tech guy.
Brendan's got AT&T, but he's got fiber, so he's got the same gigabit that I do.
I mean, at my home, I have much faster. This used to have faster internet. This house, because this is a client that I've had for quite some time. They used to have faster internet than I did, but today does not seem to be the case.
Yeah. Are you on Wi-Fi?
I am, but their Wi-Fi was always faster than mine. I always used to look forward to coming to their house to do video chats because it was more consistent.
Yeah. Sometimes Wi-Fi can be a problem, even if there should be plenty of bandwidth. It just doesn't handle it very well. So that may be part of it. If we were to hang up and start over again, it would probably do better. But if your audio is breaking up, I would do that. But since your audio is doing okay, am I coming into you full?
Yeah, no, there's not a single lag.
Because
just on my end.
That's what I tell people. I got the Google Fiber. Watch out! I'm going to send you internet so fast it's going to knock your screen over.
But I guess that's back to getting us back on topic. That was my tracked history. I thought I'd share.
So how does this work? How does it automatically know what you're doing?
Okay, so you join Tracked for free, and then when you do, I've got it with Plex, and I've got it with Netflix connected. I haven't done it with any of the other. Oh, and I have it with Amazon connected. Then you go there, and in the settings, there's a chance to add your Tracked, and it gives you a random code to type into a website, kind of like authorizing Amazon Prime on a streaming like boxy thing on a computer, where you're like, I want to do Amazon, and rather than having to type in your username or password, it just says go to this website, enter this code. It does the same thing with Tracked, and then magic happens in the background, and then Tracked knows everything you've watched and keeps track of it. And yes, I'm aware that it is data, and yes, I'm aware it's my data, and yes, I'm aware that I'm giving them my data.
Privacy concerns.
Well, I mean, it's only a privacy concern if you're concerned about it. And I went, cool, I'm okay with this. And therefore, I'm consenting. I know what they're going to do with my data. I'm comfortable with them doing that with my data. Also, I will give my data away for free to anybody else who wants the same data. It is yours. So so God bless Tracked if they can sell it. If they can sell what I'm giving away for free, hats off.
So have you ever gotten to the point where you say, God, I'm watching way too much television?
Yeah, last week, 2 days of TV shows out of a 7-day week.
Okay, what do you mean 48 hours?
Yes.
Okay, because when you said 2 days, I was thinking, well, that's not very much. I watch TV every day. 48 hours of the 40 hours.
Shows. That means I did 5 days of living and sleeping and 2 days of nothing but TV watching with my eyelids propped open, if you wanted to like rearrange the time. So yeah, I'm going to back off of that this week. I think maybe I need less TV and more books.
Sure. I don't feel
not less entertainment, just less TV, more books.
I don't feel so bad about how much I've been watching. Well, it wouldn't track some of the things that I was watching then. We still have the Netflix DVD service. We've got the streaming service, but we started.
You can go to Tracked and like push the button that says you watched it. I did that for all 3 of the movies I watched.
But then you got to enter it yourself. Way too much work. So, I mean, everybody who did Netflix in the early days, all they had, I can remember thinking, what are they talking about? Netflix. It's mail flicks. It's something that the postman brings to you and as a DVD. And then they were starting to say, well, we're going to do this on the internet. Oh, sure you are. The internet can't handle broadcast quality movies and video. The internet's slow. Remember, I was a TV engineer. It's like I had no vision that it was going to get this good. But we still have the mail stuff because Netflix and everybody else doesn't have as much online stuff. You can get most of these things by renting them for $3 or so. I think we're working it out a little bit cheaper if we look at one rental a week or so. Probably gets a little bit cheaper than just picking the ones we want to see and renting them online. Although that means we're watching movies we don't really want to see. Because we got to get a movie. There's nothing good to watch. Look, download that one or get that one on the DVD and we'll just give it a try. Anyway, watched Richard Jewell, the Atlanta Olympics not a bomber guy. Mm-hmm. And I guess that was from back in the 90s that all took place. I don't remember exactly. It was quite a while ago. He was the extremely nerdy guy that was a rent-a-cop security guy at a park in Atlanta during the Olympics, a park where they had acts, musical acts and celebrations and stuff. And that's where somebody left a bomb. And, this is one of your cop wannabe, uber cop wannabe type guys. He just idolized law enforcement, wanted to be it so bad, couldn't really hack it very well. And so he's the guy that discovers a bomb. Pretty much by accident, but he discovers it, has a hard time convincing anybody else that there's a bomb there until he finally gets them over there to look at the bomb. And then, okay, the experts look at it and it's a bomb and we got to get everybody out of here. Everybody didn't want to go. He's trying, get out of here. There's a bomb. The bomb goes off. He has gotten far enough away from it that he is not injured. Some of the other law enforcement people are. Attendees are injured. A few people were killed. And then the spotlight turns on him. Well, did he plant it? Because there is that kind of thing that happens where, fireman also is an arsonist.
Yeah.
And well, he didn't plant it. That was the guy that they caught eventually hiding in the woods of North Carolina. I forget that guy's name. But they eventually caught him for it. So Richard Jewell's life was made pretty terrible. Eventually he got over it. He did get a job as a police officer someplace in a small town. Lawyer investigator helped him clear himself, but it took a long time. As I've known people like that, in the ham radio business, you've got folks that will put flashing lights on their cars and paint them up, and because they got the radio, they got 1% of what it's like to be law enforcement. I see some folks like that.
What is the name for it in the military? In the military they have a name for this. Oh gosh, I will remember it. There is a name for it.
Yeah.
When a military person idolizes, or when a civilian idolizes the military to the point of kind of trying to slip into that role.
Yeah, I don't know that word. Imposter is just kind of a generic word for it.
Yeah, but it's something like it's two words. It's something stealers, I think. Fortune stealers, fame stealers. I'm going to look this up while you keep telling the story.
Oh yeah, I think people that will pretend to have been in the military and have won medals and ribbons and stuff. Yeah, the name is not coming to me either. But now that you've mentioned it that way, that's ringing a bell. In any case, the people that come off really bad in the movie, this guy was a great actor. I don't know who he was, but he nailed this character. It was very stereotypical, the character that he presented, but again, I know people that are kind of like that, and they're in the ham radio business. There's folks who will think I'm like that. But the people that came off the worst in the movie were the media. Just everybody. In other words, they had one woman newspaper reporter who was absolutely a stereotype of the the vicious rumor mongering reporter. They had her working for the Atlanta Journal-Sun. I don't think the Atlanta Journal-Sun would have a reporter on staff like that, but apparently for the movie they did anyway. But the throngs, of reporters, the TV reporters, and outside of every venue where this guy was, hollering questions at him, they had all of that. So he comes off eventually very sympathetic, and the media comes off really, really bad, and no one ever redeemed anybody in the media. Have you found your word yet?
No. I have found the Wikipedia article on military imposters though, but it doesn't have the slang in it.
Yeah.
Now I've got phrases only people in the military know, and then they started with fobbit. I am not in the military. I have not been in the military. I know that phrase.
Okay. Yeah, that has come up on some shows that have seen recently. I know NCIS or Hawaii 5-0 or something. That phrase came up, that word, but I don't remember what it was. We also watched Bombshell, another DVD we got. The takedown of Fox News' Roger Ailes. And that was pretty much fun. Charlize Theron did an awesome job of Megyn Kelly and an awesome job of nailing the broadcaster style. I don't know if she's ever done broadcasting, but there is a way to do it. And I have a little bit of it because I've done this, and it's once you learn how to do it, it's hard to pull it back out. But if I were to be doing it all the time, then I would be talking like this all the time. And she was able to nail that character that was able to talk like this as if it was their natural personality. I could make money doing that. I should have made money doing that. That was fun to watch. That's a very Me Too movie. And then finally we watched 2019, which I think was actually streaming someplace. 2019 was the World War. Was it 2019 or 2017? Now I got to find out. Well, I'm not going to go find out. I think it was 2017. No, it was 1917. If you're looking at me going, what the hell is he talking about?
1917, yes.
Here, I've got it right in the doc. It says 2019. It makes no sense at all. 1917, the World War I movie where this guy gets a message he's got to carry to another platoon because they've got some intelligence that the platoon is going to be walking into a trap. Radio was not so much of a thing back then, and the telephone wires had been deliberately cut by the Germans. I think they were in France. And so they send two guys to carry the message physically by running across enemy territory, and in theory, the enemy had pulled out, but they weren't really sure. It was a very fog of war thing. It's a simple plot, simple thing, but the hook about the movie was it was going to be done in two shots. The camera would follow the guy, two guys, starts out two guys, would follow them continuously from the time they got their instructions until they got to deliver them. And in theory, there was only one cut. At one point, it faded to black and then faded back up. It turns out that actually the longest individual shot in the movie was 6 or 7 minutes. They just very carefully.
That's a long shot, though.
Still a long shot, but it wasn't.
As movies go, that's a really
it wasn't
really long shot.
The whole movie itself was about 2 hours, so there wasn't 2 1-hour shots. But what they did was they cleverly concealed where the edits were, and they did such a good job that me, a professional editor, did not see them. I saw some places where I thought, okay, they must have done something there. How else could they have accomplished it? But I had not read about the making of it very much before we watched it, which I'm glad because I got to just see the movie from an initial audience perspective. So I won't call it a great movie because the story is pretty simplistic. It's the technique of doing it that is the attraction. But it wasn't a bad movie.
I'm going to go watch it now just to see if I can tell where they transitioned carefully.
Yeah, I can give you some hints. Wherever you see.
No. I gotta do it myself. It's a scavenger hunt.
Okay, yeah, go watch it. We'll talk about it next time. Okay, so what came up in your tracked history that you feel good about?
So Snowpiercer wasn't at all the movie I thought it was going to be, and I liked it more.
Okay, I've heard the name and know nothing about it.
Okay, so we're in the future. In order to fight global warming, we released a magical cooling powder, I guess, into the Earth's atmosphere, which led to such an ice age that all things on Earth died. It was extinction, except for anybody who's on this particular train. And the train is, it's kept from freezing fully because it's running, it's moving. And for whatever reason, the person who invented the train had this brilliant idea to make a circular track. So this train is just going round and round and round and round and round on the circular track.
Okay, I have heard enough about the movie that it was a train that went around the world, and I'm thinking, well, we've got these oceans, and they don't have tracks on them. So
no, it went on a bridge around the ocean somehow magically. They never really covered it, and it wasn't important because it's one of those locked room mysteries type things. I mean, you're inside the train. You cannot leave the train. Outside the train is sudden death. And it's just the tale of the various factions fighting for control over the train.
Yay. Yeah, that doesn't sound enticing to me. And you say it worked better than you were expecting?
Yeah, because it exposed human avarice and gluttony and all that. You know, it really showed the difference between the haves and the have-nots and how power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, et cetera, et cetera. You watch a have-not become a have, and then everything that he said that he was going to do to equalize everything across everyone, all of a sudden it's not so important because now he's got the stuff, you know.
You know what that's reminding me of? Something I've been thinking of lately is not a have or have not, but it is how some politics have flipped in the reopen thing, where the people who don't want to, the people who want to reopen and are defying authority, well, they're the same people that not too long ago were claiming that they were for law and order. Yep. And what occurs to me is that, well, yeah, it kind of really depends on whose laws and who's given the orders. Because if you don't agree with them, you're not going to be for law and order anymore. But yeah, law and order. Okay. What else?
Then I watched Pixels, which if you liked Ready Player One, you will like Pixels. If you did not like Ready Player One, it's just an Adam Sandler movie.
I did like Ready Player One, and I wasn't expecting
so you'll like
it to.
Pixels.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to, because I'm not a gamer. I played Doom for a while when it first came out on an old 386 computer, and spent a few too many hours on it, and said, "Nah, I better not do this anymore." And have managed to avoid the genre. I would enjoy it, I think, some games, but I just don't want to make that big a part of my life. So I went to see Ready Player One because I had seen reviews of it that said you don't have to be a gamer, and it is as a movie that is not a spin-off or a sequel to some other movie. They did an original good movie, and those are getting hard to find.
I'm nodding.
Yeah,
it's not translating.
It's not letting you nod.
No.
And it was good characters, very compelling characters, and a good story. Lots of action, and the game was cool. So yeah, okay. So Pixels. It's got Adam Sandler.
It's got Adam Sandler. It is
not a big Adam Sandler fan.
Just about every Adam Sandler movie, you know, goofy guy gets the girl in the end, but it's got the Ready Player One nostalgia elements in it, and I like that.
About the only Adam Sandler movie that I really liked was 50 First Dates.
This one is not that. But you'll still have nostalgia.
Yeah. Well,
like the Ready Player One nostalgia.
Okay.
And what was the other one that I said I watched? Oh, Detective Pikachu. So I've had it. My library hold has been in since whenever we shut down. I've been waiting for my library hold to go to the library to get it on DVD from the library because it's based on a book, a comic book, and a game. And so I was going to watch it and see if it was going to become a selection for next movie book club. And I watched it with the expectation that I would hear a lot of quips from Ryan Reynolds, and that's really the whole point of me watching it. And I heard a lot of quips from Ryan Reynolds, and that was really the whole point of me watching it.
Not sure exactly who Ryan Reynolds is.
Deadpool.
Oh, duh. I guess I did not consider the name of the actor. So he is Pikachu.
Yes, he plays Pikachu. So it's Deadpool as a yellow mouse.
Okay.
And it is exactly Deadpool as a yellow mouse, and I loved it for that. Also, if you follow Ryan Reynolds on Twitter, he just drops Deadpool-like barbs all the time. So if that's a source of joy in your life, Ryan Reynolds is Twitter.
Well,
married to Blake Lively from Gossip Girl, and she hits back. You know, he'll drop a barb on her occasionally, and she will just smack it right back. She's just as good. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing for Twitter. Twitter doesn't have many bright spots. This is one of them.
I got a feeling that I'm in the category of a little Ryan Reynolds goes a long way.
See, I can't ever get too much Ryan Reynolds. I love his snark.
Yeah. Well, I love the Deadpool movies. I've seen, there are 2 or there are 3? I guess
2. I've seen 2.
I think,
so if there are 3, I've missed 1.
No, I think there's just 2. And did he show up in one of the other Avengers movies? I think he did.
Yeah, because he's in the Marvel Comic Universe.
Yeah.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't know. What's MCU?
That's it, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Just going to leave the C alone. Not even try and predict it.
It's either he ended up in one of the others, because there have been so many, or...
His plot line overlaps with the X-Men.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there was some X-Men that showed up in the second Deadpool movie.
Well, they're also in the first. Not that you paid much attention, because they're in there for a minute. But yeah.
Yep.
Because they keep trying to get him to be an X-Man because he's got a mutation. He's a mutant.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess his mutation is some form of cancer.
Yeah, he just can't die. His body grows back.
Yep. But it was based on some cancer kind of thing.
Yep.
And I don't really remember how he got to where he is, but whether it was an attempted treatment or, I don't know, radioactive spider. If I don't know what it is, I'll always go with the radioactive spider.
Yeah, that's those are the movies that I watched, and I cannot tell you a single one of the TV shows I watched. I watched 97 of them and don't remember one of them. So there you go.
I think I could. It would take me a minute, but I think I could tell you. But I'm not gonna try because we're hitting the 2-hour mark, and that's our show, ladies and gentlemen.
We get to wrap right up.
That's our show for this Sunday. I didn't play the triangle as much as I thought I would during the program. Thought I'd be banging that thing more often to make points. I just forget.
That's what she said. I
What?
thought I'd be banging that thing to make points. No, never mind.
Stop it. I've already pushed the explicit button. You're okay. Double entendre. I was thinking, what was the double entendre thing? Oh, yeah, we went through this last time. It was the my beaver needs a haircut. We bored that one out.
I'm nodding again. It's not translating.
Yeah, we need to speed up the Skyper.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll cross our fingers for Brendan and hope that he does not have the COVIDs, and whatever it's got, he gets over it pretty quick. Yeah, it could be who knows what. What's up for you this week?
I'm going to eat food outside on a picnic blanket for Memorial Day and call it a celebration, and then work Tuesday through Friday.
So a typical week.
A typical week. Well, plus
a fun Monday.
Fun Monday. Typical week. 3 trivias as usual in a week. It's going to be normal.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I could mention that I went down to see my stepmom last week. She had her 100th birthday.
See, you're going to live to be 140. Don't even worry about it.
Well,
you got 7 more years on your stock market.
I have no blood relation to this woman. She is a stepmom. She and her first husband were a friend of my mom and dad as I grew up when I was a kid.
Oh, so, one of those.
Yeah, and then my mom died and her husband died, and she and my dad got married. There's more behind this story that's not so wonderful, but we'll leave it at the wonderful part. The also not so wonderful part is that when she was about 95, she started developing probably Alzheimer's, at least dementia. And now she's deep in her own mind. Does not exist in the same world that I do. So we talked on the phone for a little bit, and we wanted to go down and do one of those look at her through the window things. So the staff brought her to the window, and then there these 2 oddly dressed strange people outside the window that she almost never looks out, waving at her, and that scared her, so she ran back inside.
Oh, that's tough.
But she made it to 100 and is still going. Physically her body is doing fine. Just her mind has left her with, whatever dust is left inside. And that's sad-ish. And very much reality. And I don't mope over it. For one thing, she was never a deeply integral part of my family. Just, came in from the outside very late. But I care about her. And I got her power of attorney, so I do all the work, and and we're the only close relatives or relatives-ish that she's got down here. She decided not to move back to Michigan, where she grew up and where she had more connections. When my dad died, she decided to stay here because she had made a lot of friends in church and stuff. So, but there's not much of that left, and it's just pretty much me and Cindy, and we go visit. We had gone visit about once a month. Haven't seen her till Tuesday. Haven't seen her since last December because I was doing the cancer therapy and couldn't, go out myself. And then this thing hit, and so nobody can go down there. This place is locked down. Best I can tell, they don't have a COVID patient in their facility.
Oh, good.
Now, not that good a story for Cindy's folks. Cindy's folks both live in a retirement home. It's a multi-level. They've got independent living. They've got assisted living, and they've got full medical. And her dad is somewhere between full medical and assisted. Her mom is an independent. And on her dad's wing, they have 2 COVID patients.
Oh, no.
So that is scary. And they can't talk very much about them because of HIPAA. You can't reveal very much information. They can probably reveal more information than they have. We're a little anxious about learning more about what's going on. Plus the contact tracing, we would love to hear who brought it in and how it was transmitted. And if they know that, they're not telling. So that's been my week, and probably will be more of what's coming up in this week. Oh, and my friends at the abortion clinic escort group is starting to go back out and fight the good fight against the religious nuts and wackos that stand and had never stopped standing at the edge of the driveway yelling at women going in to get abortions. But we're going back out there and helping out. And I'm not sure when I'm going to go out because I'm a high-risk group. I'm weighing that. Our work is outdoors and it's very distant. And again, considering that every possible person I might encounter, if they have it, how much risk am I putting myself in? And it's hard to judge. I can stay away from them. I can wear a mask. They'll be wearing masks. I can keep, again, outdoors, contact brief, and very distant, more than 6 feet. So I'm still not sure. I think as I mentioned that to the group and say, maybe is that safe enough? They're all going to say no, no. As much as we need people, we don't need you now. So that's probably what I'm going to hear from them. But we'll see. But they're back out there helping women get through the gauntlet of the yellers and screamers.
Well, good for them, and thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy for them too. And the clinic staff says, "Oh, thank God that you have come back, because it's been so hard to work without him." All right, thank you, Jen. Brendan, get better, and we're going to wrap the show up. Oh, I got to push a few buttons to do that. Do I remember which buttons they are? There's this button. Oh no, there's this button. That is you, Nanny Jen. Yep. One of the hosts of the NannyCast at nannycast.com.
Yes.
And our thoughts go out to Brendan Diesendorf, Practical Operations Podcast. I'm Gary Pierce. Oh, it still says Sparky Beaver Tech. I may be that for a while. I could go back to being just a snowflake. I'm not sure. I keep forgetting to change that. For those of you in the audio audience, it's the lower third title you see on TV. And it has been episode 90. I just called it Stuff. We got into some politics, but mostly it was stuff. Today is May 24th, 2020. Faze, F-A-Z-E, Faze 2, over.
And out.
Bye, Facebook. Bye, YouTube. Waiting for it.
I'm waving. It's making it very jerky. I am waving.
Got sort of a wave. Waiting for enough YouTube and Facebook to gather up the end so that when I push the off button, they at least got the over and out part. That should be enough.